Okay, so now we're going to do question 6, and 6.1 says that on the 31st of January 2020, Tsepo made the first of his monthly deposits of 1,000 Rand into a savings account. He continues to make monthly deposits of 1,000 Rand at the end of each month up until the 31st of January 2032. Right, so the interest rate was fixed to 7.5% per annum compounded monthly. 6.1.1, what will the investment be worth immediately after the first deposit? So we want to identify the future value here, right? Because Tsepo is making investments, right? So of 1,000 Rand. So we want to know in future, in 2032, how much will his amount in the account be, right? Hence we are told here that what will the investment be worth immediately. This is critical. Immediately after the last deposit. So the one thing that we have here is we have that the investment is equals to 1,000 Rand, right? And the interest rate is 7.5% per annum compounded monthly, right? Compounded monthly. And another thing is when you want to now determine your number of payments, the N. So you're gonna minus your 2032 minus 2020. Let me just punch that into my calculator. I'm going to get 12, right, which basically means 12 years, right? So what is going to happen here is you're just going to have that 12 years and then you multiply it with the monthly, which is 12, right? So it's just going to be 144. But remember that the investment is going to be made immediately. So what they're saying is want to know how much will be in the investment if this point here written immediately is really critical. So you're just going to add 1 because it's immediately, right? Just going to write a timeline to really show you what this means. So you're having your timeline here, right? So this is T0 and this is T 12, right, for 12 years. And what we know is that payment will be made on the 2020 on the 31st of 2020, right? That's the first payment. And then the last payment you've made on the 31st of January, right? So hence I said you will have your T1 here all the way up to the 12th year, right? And what we will have here, so we know very well that there will be payments of 1,000 Rand each year, each month, sorry, payments of 1,000 Rand, just payments of 1,000 Rand. So we're mostly interested in the future value of this investment that is being made, right? Of this person here. So what we will do is we'll use the future value annuity. So we're going to say FV is equals to X into 1 plus I to the power of N minus 1, right? So we know very well that investments of 1,000 are put into the account and the interest rate is equals to let me just check here. The interest rate is 7.5% compounded monthly, right? So it's just going to be 1 plus 7.5%. You can write 0.075, right? Because 7.5% divided by 100 will give you 0.075. So it's 0.075 and it's compounded monthly. So it's 12 to the power of, just going to write to the power of 145. Remember I said it's 12 years multiplied by the 12, which is compounded monthly, which will give you 144, because we want the future value when the last payment is made immediately. So just gonna add 1, which would be 145, right? So we're just going to be 145 here, and then divided by 0.075 over 12. So you're just gonna punch everything in your calculator here. Just everything that you see here, just punch it in your calculator so that we can find the future value annuity, which will be 234,888.85. So this is point. So this is the future value annuity of this investment that has been made here. Now we're gonna write 6.1.2, this one here. So if he makes no further payments but leaves the money into the account, how much money will be in the account in 2033? So if you make investments into an account, and then remember this is 2020, so the last investment was made in 2032. So if you leave your money and not take it, you will gain interest, right? So you'll gain interest. So because we are looking at the 31st of January 2033, right? And we know that the last last payment rather of the investment was made on the 21st of Jan 2032, right? So the difference here is 1 year. So there's 1 year of interest made, which you can change that 1 year into 12 months, right? So what is going to happen is this: we calculated the future value annuity, right, which was 234,888.85. So if you leave this amount into your account and just not take it, you're going to have an interest. So to really identify the interest that you're gonna make, not necessarily the interest, but the accumulated amount for leaving your money in your bank. So you're just gonna have A is equals to P. So you're gonna use a compound formula now, because it's just a small period. It's not really annuities here. We just want to identify the accumulated amount that you would have made if you just left it there in your bank. So you're not making any constant payments now, hence we're using this formula here to the power n. So we're just gonna write 234,888.85 into 1 plus remember the interest rate 0.075 divided by 12 to the power of 12, right? So this is just your compounded monthly, and remember that it's multiplied by 1 for 1 year, right? So this 12 will just convert into months, so hence yeah, it's just we can write 12 if you want, or you can just write 12 multiplied by 1 because it's 1 year. It's 20 from 2032 to 2033, right? So punch this in your calculator and you're supposed to get an answer of 253,123.5398, right? So this is the answer, or you can just write in 1 decimal place or 2 decimal place. It's up to you, as long as that is towards the final answer. Don't round off during calculations. So yeah, this is the final answer for this problem here. So now looking at 6.2. So 6.2, Jimmy bought a new car for 250,000 rand. The value of the car depreciates at the rate of 22% per annum annually, according to the reducing balance. So whenever we talk of reducing balance, we're talking of a compound formula, right? So always remember that reducing balance, compound formula. Let me write compound. And if we're talking of a straight line, we're talking of simple interest, right? Or simple interest formula. So don't forget that. This car depreciates, obviously. So after how many years will its book value be this amount here? So the book value, we're talking of A, which is the accumulated amount. So we just wanna, so we know the formula we're gonna use, but remember this is a depreciation, so hence reducing balance, this depreciates, so we're just gonna say A is equal to P into 1 minus I, right, to the power n. Please note that we're talking of depreciation here. So we're gonna put the amount here, this book value, and book value of 9253.7. oh sorry, made a mistake. So it's going to be, let me just use a different color. So it's going to be 92537.64 equals to this the amount of this car, which is 250000 into 1 minus, actually let me use this side here. So we're having A is equals to P into 1 minus I to the power of n, and our A is equals to 92537.64 is equals to the price of the car, which is 250,000 rand, into 1 minus our interest rate is 22%, so it's 1 minus 0.22, right? And then we don't know n, so what we are looking for n. So just going to divide by 250, both sides 250, right? And you'll have 92537.64 over 250 00 is equals to 1 minus 0.22 to the power of n. We are looking for n, so we can use logs to solve this. So we can say n is equals to log of the base of 1 minus 0.22, and then here it's 92537.64 divided by 250,000, right? So then you punch this into your calculator, right? What are you getting? Let me know. But the answer is 4 years. 6.3. So 6.3. Just before I say anything about 6.3, I said here it's reducing balance, right? We're talking of depreciation, so it's A is equals to P into 1 minus I, right, to the power of n. And then if it's a straight line, and obviously we're talking of reducing balance, so it's going to be A is equals to P into 1 minus I multiplied by n. Please note that. Let me move now. So Mpho is granted a loan under the following conditions. The interest rate is 11.3% per annum compounded monthly. So remember, we're talking of a loan here, so chances are we're going to use a present value annuity. So we know the interest rate is 13.3% compounded monthly. The loan is a period of 6 years. The monthly repayments 1,500 rand. First payment is made 1 month after the granting of the loan, right? So 6.3.1, we are asked to calculate the value of the loan. So this is really straightforward. You just plug in your formula of 1 minus into 1 plus I to the power of minus n over I. So we're having what? We want to identify the value of the loan. We have this, we have that, we have that, we have that. So we have everything. We just want to identify PV. So let's do that. So we're having PV is equals to x into 1 minus into 1 plus I to the power of minus n divided by I, right? So we know that the investment of 1,500 rand is made 1 minus into 1 plus. The interest rate of this here is 11.3%, like 11.3% compounded monthly, right? Let's just check to confirm everything. Yes, it's 11.3% compounded monthly and for a period of 6 years, right? So we're just going to say 0.113, right? You can do that by dividing this 11.3% by 100, and then divide by 12 here to the power of minus how many years? It's 6 years multiplied by the 12 divided by 0.113 over 12. So now you can punch the entire expression here into your calculator, and what are you getting? Let me know in the comments. So this is the present value annuity, or sorry, this is the loan. Yes, the present value annuity loan of 78173.49. so this is the loan that will be taken. Done for this problem here. So I assume this is fun. It's not really as difficult as you guys thought. Kindly let me know in the comments if financial math is easy or it's just fun. 6.3.2, how much interest will Mpho pay in total over the 5 years? So what we're going to do is we are going to identify the amount of interest that would be paid for this loan, right? We already know the loan, we already know how much is being paid here of 1.5 per month. So let's just first identify. So because we are looking at a period of 5 years, remember the previous one was 6 years, right? The loan was for a period of 6 years, but we just want to identify how much interest will be made in total for over 5 years. So what we know is the amount paid in just general sense. So please note this, it's just a general sense of the amount paid for the loan is n multiplied by x, right? So the n is the number of years, it's the number of payments, right? Remember we said the number of payments is since it's 5 years, so we're looking at 5 years multiplied by 12. The 12 comes from the compounded monthly, right? And you're supposed to get 60 here. Let me just confirm with my calculator. Yes, that's correct. So meaning that n is going to be 60. Number of payments are 60, so it's going to write 60, and we know that we are paying for 1.5, right? So the amount paid would be 90,000 rand. So this is just general sense. If we just don't consider any interest rates, whatever, this is a general amount that would be paid if you just paid that 1.5 for a period of 5 years, right? So and the balance, let me just write the loan that we are paying. We did calculate in the previous question, so it was 78,173.49, right? So that was the loan that was taken, and the balance. So now we're interested in the balance. What do I mean by the balance? We are going to pay for a period of 5 years, right? And we're going to pay 1.5, right? So remember that the period of the loan was for 6 years, right? But now we are looking at n is equals to 5 years, right? The difference between these two is just 1 year, which you can say it's 12 months, really, right? But it's 1 year, so you can just stretch this out. So we just want to know that amount, that extra amount, because we are interested in 5 years, and the previous question was interested in 6 years, right? I think this loan is for 6 years. So once you know the interest that would be made, But to calculate the balance, because we just calculate the balance here of the loan, we're going to use our PV is equals to x into sorry, just didn't write properly here. So it's 1 minus into 1 plus I to the power of minus n divided by I. So yes, we're still paying 1.5, right? Okay, why am I writing 15,000? Oh, I love money. So it's 1 minus into 1 plus the interest rate of 13.3%, which is 0.113 divided by 12, right? Remember, as I said, we were looking at 6 years, but now we're looking at how many years? At 5 years, right? So the difference between these two is just 1 year. So just gonna write your 12 for monthly and multiply by 1, right? And then divide it by 0.113 over 12. So why am I doing this? We want to identify the balance, the amount, the balance for this extra 1 year, right? Because we are mostly interested in only 5 years and not 6 years. If it was 6 years, we're gonna write proper number there, or proper period. So what you are going to get here is 16,945, right, 0.0. So this is going to be the balance. So remember that you're having your amount paid, which we calculated just above. So the amount paid is equals to 90,000 rand. Loan is equals to 78,173.49, and the balance is equals to 16,945.0, right? We want to identify the interest here. So for us to identify the interest, you're just going to say interest is equals to the amount paid minus into the loan minus the balance. Alright, so the amount paid is 90,000 rand minus into the loan of 78,173.49 minus the balance of 16945.0, and then you're just going to punch this in your calculator, the entire thing, and then you should get an interest of 28,771.51. So that is the final answer, your interest made. Done for this question. Off to the next. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, suggestions, or comments, please write them in the comments section below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos.